This is a facelifted R53 MINI Cooper S from 2005. Now this is still a 20-year-old car, so obviously it will need some work. Yeah, first of all, we have some rust here in the back on the trunk, which is, from what I can gather, like a very common thing on these cars. So either I will have to repair this, get it repaired, or replace the trunk. Then, of course, it needs a service. The supercharger needs a service. I know there are some oil leaks that I need to do. Now, the thing is with this car, this was the only one that I could find in this color with these options: the sunroof, the heated seats, the chili pack, the upgraded sound system in it. So that's why I chose this one. I know there are some issues on it, but that's why we have a YouTube. We fix these cars. That's what we do. So the oil leaks, that's a bit of a concern for me, because I know the rocker cover gasket needs to be replaced on it. And I have noticed that there is also like some dripping oil under the car when I move it, so I will have to check that out. And what I also want to do is I want to upgrade the things that are common failure points on these cars, like the thermostat housing, which is plastic, which is just rubbish. I'm going to replace it for an aluminium one. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. And then what I want to do with the car is, yeah, we're gonna make it look cool. Yeah, that's it basically. I did not buy this project solely as like a repair car. I bought it to make it how I want to. Like, I want to have other wheels, I want to lower it, I want to do some engine work, I want to upgrade the power on this car. But before I can do any of that, I obviously first need to make it mechanically sound, because my plan is to drive this as a daily after I fixed everything. But as you can see there, you can see some oil. I don't know how well you guys can pick that up. So yeah, the rocker cover is really leaking. Also this supercharger, I don't know when it had the service, if it had one ever. So yeah, I'm gonna do a supercharger service on it as well, then a general service. Then I'm gonna look for that second leak, because yeah, under the car there was some oil. I don't know that it's from the rocker gasket, but I don't think so. Then I'm gonna check this reservoir for the liquid. I will probably replace it for an alu one. So yeah, because those are also known to crack and leak. Then I have a couple of other things in the car that are yeah, some things that I need to check out. One of these is at the seat here. This, I don't know if you can see that, it's very dark. You see it's loose. That's the handle to slide your seat to the front and the back. What else do we have? Yeah, I have here. This here is a bit loose, which I have to take care of. And then yeah, then I'm gonna take care of the bodywork, because as you can see, there are some scars on there. There is the rust on the back, and then in the front of the bumper we have scuffs as well. Like here, you can see that really good. So that's something I will need to do as well. Then we have the headlights, which are faded and yellow. So I'm gonna either restore these or replace them, depends what the cost is for that. The same on the back, basically. The back lights, as you can see here, they're also very dull and need some refurbishment, but I'm thinking of upgrading them to better ones, so that will be taken care of as well. And then obviously we're gonna do some performance upgrades, and I already got my hand on something which is laying right here, which is a Miltech non-resonated exhaust. So that will be fitted. so that's good. We also have like this strut brace bar, whatever. These I got second hand for a very good price, so those will go on the car. Now the strut brace, I don't know if I will do it because it's the one that goes behind the back seats of the car, and I don't really want to lose the capability of like carrying people if necessary, so that's something that's on the maybe side. Then I want to do like a smaller pulley on the supercharger. Obviously we're gonna take care of like injectors, colder spark plugs, maybe an upgraded bobbin, I don't know, the thing that gives you spark basically. So that's one thing that I also want to do, and I hope you guys will love this series. Join me in the journey of the transformation of this awesome Mini, which I have to say so myself, I really did a good one on this one. Well, if there are no hidden things, which we never know, but I basically had to chase the seller for 2 weeks before I really could even make an appointment with him to go look at it, to get the deal done. Then we had to go back. It was a whole thing, but I persisted, because I know this is something that you guys will love. This is something I will love. I also have more space in my garage now to work, because with the BMW that was a bit of a thing. Like in the back I did not have much space, in the front I did not have much space. This will be much better. So yeah, I hope you guys join me, and then I see you in the next one. Thank you. Hey guys, today I will show you how to put this Mini R53 in frontal service mode. So the first thing you want to do is you come here, and underneath here you will find some screws. I will give you some light so you can see that better. Like here you have a screw, and then normally here too, but they're missing. So what you have to do is you have to divide the inner plastic from the bumper. So you just loosen these, and then we can continue. Okay, and once you have removed those bolts, you come here, and there is an 8mm bolt that you have to loosen. Let me have a look. So if you come around, then you can see here on the top, this is the 8mm bolt that we need to take out. Okay. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to loosen these screws. You have like 3/10 in the middle, and on the side you have 2 Phillips heads that you have to loosen. Alright, so now that we have loosened these 8mm bolts and the bolts that hold the inner liner to the bumper, we come to the front, and then on this side, here, and on this side, you have T30 torque screws, which you loosen. Okay, let's put this to the side. Keep your screws organized, that will help you later on. And then normally now you can take the bumper cover off. Make sure on this side, if you come here on the top, there are a couple of electrical connectors that you have to undo for your frontal lights. Don't forget those, because you really don't want to break these. Then when you undid the connectors, also make sure that you take this out. This is your temperature sensor. So hang it to the side, let it rest on here, and then you do the same thing on this side. Okay, so now just put this to the side. Okay, like this. And then we want to remove the bumper itself, which is held in with 5 bolts. We have 2 bolts here underneath, 1 here, and 2 on the inside. So 2 on the bottom, 2 here, and 1 here. These are 13mm bolts. Okay. And then we should be able to get this off like that. Also put this to the side. There we go. And now technically your Mini Cooper S is in frontal service mode. But if you want to take it a bit further, like you want to get the radiator off, if you need to work on the front of the engine or stuff like that, then I will show you that now. Alright, time to go further. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of this airco condenser. Now the airco system is filled with freon gas, which is highly regulated, very toxic. So this has to be emptied professionally before you do this. Don't do this at home because it's toxic, it's not good for you, also it's against the law. So once you have this professionally emptied, then you can just remove these 2 lines here, which are held in by 10mm bolts here and here. So once these are off, you see my system has been emptied. So now we can take the condenser off. This is held in with a 10mm here and a 10mm here. Alright, so now that we have the condenser off, it's time to take off these bars, which are held in here with a 10mm, and then on the bottom with 2/16. So we have to do this on both sides. That's the next step. Okay. And then we do the same on the other side. Then what we want to do, you have 2 holes here, which are M8, and you put a screw in here. Like that. And on this side also a screw M8. This is gonna help us put everything to the front like this. And it can rest on these bolts. What you also need to do, if you come here you have a horn, and on the other side you also have a horn, that you disconnect these. Yeah. And then we have these cables which we pull through. Can be a bit tight, but they should all fit like this. And there we go. So now we have the cables on this side, and we do the same thing here. Also disconnect your horn and you feed the cables through. That's why we have these bolts here, so it holds everything in place. Alright, so that's done. Now before we can go further, we have here the hose that goes to your air box, which you have to disconnect. You have here connector, which you have to disconnect. This one can be tight, but okay, so that's done. Now before we can take this whole assembly off, we will need to drain the coolant. Now BMW did not provide us with a drain plug, so we have to loosen the bottom radiator hose, which is located on the left side of the vehicle here. So that's what we're gonna do next. So there you can see the hose which we gotta loosen, which is held in by this clamp. So that's what we're gonna do now. So before I'm gonna loosen that one, I want to open this bleeder nipple here, this screw, which will help drain the system. So you can already hear. So we just loosen it. And another thing that we want to do is we want to loosen the cap on the reservoir. This will provide us with a nice flow when we disconnect the hose. Okay. Something else that I forgot to say earlier that you also have to disconnect. If you have these mist lights, then you also need to disconnect them. Just like that. Alright, we also got to disconnect this side the same way as the bottom one. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, because there is much more to come on this Mini. We're gonna make it mechanically in order and we're gonna transform it. So I catch you in the next one. Thank you. Today I'm gonna be dealing with something that affects 99% of Minis of this era, which is a sagging roof liner. Yeah, this ain't looking great. Yeah, this is not good. What if I just spray some glue in here? I'm just kidding, of course. We're gonna do this the correct way. Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Almost Roadworthy. Here you see me taking all the stuff off the roof liner so you can get the headliner out. Now I chose not to go in detail in this because there are a bazillion different videos on YouTube that show you exactly how this is done. So yeah, just take everything off, do it the correct way, and then we can go on and take this headliner out. So I took the headliner out, the fabric literally just came loose. I didn't have to pull on anything, it just, yeah, I don't know, it's really bad. But anyway, we got it out, so we can start cleaning this up. We gotta get rid of all this foam here. As you can see, it's totally disintegrating. It needs replacement. I also noticed some of the corners, they're a bit wet, so I don't know if that's from like standing in the garage and condensation, or if that's from a leak somewhere. Now I inspected the seals. I don't really see any bad seal, but you never know. I mean, it can come from anywhere, so that's something I will need to address sooner or later. But first I want to get this this headliner retrimmed, and let's start by cleaning it up. Okay, so this is the last of the fabric that we can take off. Yeah, this is in a bad shape. I don't know, I'm gonna remove as I said, the leftover of the foam. So what I'm doing now is I'm spraying this with isopropyl alcohol just to get all the last bits of glue and particles off, and then we can start thinking about retrimming it. Alright, so I wiped this all down with isopropyl alcohol. It's fully cleaned, no more leftover foam, no more leftover glue on there. What I want to do now is I want to get this fully dry before I'm going to spray the new adhesive on and put the new trim on. So I'm going to let this sit for 24 hours to let it fully dry, and then I can continue. Okay, we're a new day today. This has been drying for 24 hours, so we can go ahead and start putting the new headliner on the roof. As you can see, we have this beautiful synthetic Alcantara material to put on our roof. This is also with foam backing, especially for headliners. Now, most of the time when headliners come off, it's because the foam starts disintegrating, and that's why it starts sagging. And yeah, you will have to redo it like I'm doing now. Now, one tip that I give you, if you're gonna do this yourself, don't just buy normal textile. Always make sure that you get this nice material with some foam on the back. So I'm gonna shake this well, then I'm gonna spread it on the shell itself and then on the material. We're gonna let it sit for a couple minutes until it starts to get a bit tacky, and then we can flip it over, rub it nicely. What I wanted to say is you just put the material over here, and then you just make sure it goes in all the corners, all the nooks and crannies, and that's what we're gonna do now. Okay, so what I did now is I cut the sides off so we have a little bit of overlap on the sides, and now I'm gonna put glue on this side and then we're gonna flip it over. Now in corners like these, for example, we're gonna make some notches so this can fold in without stretching the material. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do now. Alright, so I did the outsides, they're all folded over and glued. I also put some tacks in there with my machine, my tack machine. So hopefully that will not come loose anymore. And now the only thing that's left is we gotta do like the holes for the sunroof, the lights and all the other accessories. And then we should be ready to put it in the car. Alright, so all the holes are made, all the Alcantara is on, so now we still have the small little issue of getting this thing back in the car. Well, that was much more involved than I expected it to be, but here is the result. So I hope you guys liked this episode. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you. Yes, that's right. I'm gonna replace the head unit of this R53 MINI Cooper S before I tackle on all the more serious mechanical issues. Not to forget, I've been looking here in the back. Maybe you saw my previous videos and I showed you that like there is some rust on the car, on the trunk lid. So we'll have to take care of that. Then I figured out I will check the resistor on the radiator, as these tend to go, and yeah, I checked it, it's broken. I need to replace that as well. And then of course the elephant in the room, this. So yeah, the engine needs to come out. There is a lot of work on it. We have to replace a lot of seals, a lot of gaskets. It's literally leaking from every side of the engine. Also we have a lot of modules and stuff that we have to replace, like water pump, oil filter housing, all these kind of things. But you know what, let's do the radio. It's almost Christmas. I didn't get the time to get all the parts or finish my list for everything I need, so yeah, I figured why not do the radio. I got everything here and I will show you how to do that. So taking out the head unit of this car is pretty straightforward, not that difficult. You just gotta know where all the bolts are and then you can take this head unit out. The first thing you want to do is you want to get rid of this. You just pinch this here and then you pull it out just like that. That's the first thing you want to do. Also, I am sorry that the camera quality is not as great as my other videos. My camera broke, so I had to send it in for repairs, and now I'm filming on my crappy phone, so yeah, I apologize for that, but I wanted to show you guys anyway how to do it. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to get rid of this here. You just put your hand in here and you push this up just like that. Now I already had this out, so it's pretty easy, but it was quite difficult the first time I did that, so take that in consideration, that yeah, it can take a bit of force. Don't start pulling on the top, because you will literally pull the cover off and maybe break one of these buttons. The next step is you want to remove the 5 bolts holding in your middle console. So we got 2 right there, as you can see. So that's just 2 Phillips heads, and then you can just take this out. Okay, so these 2 are out. Now the next thing is gonna be under there. That's gonna be a Torx 15 or 20, I think. I will show you. As you can see right under there, you have the Torx that you have to loosen. Just one in the middle, that's all you gotta do. Right, so we got those screws out. So the next 2 screws are gonna be right down there. Yeah, like this. There is one, and then on the other side, how am I gonna film this? Yeah, like you can see right there is another one, so just 2 Phillips heads that you take out right there. The next step we want to take is we want to remove this one and this one here. Now quite easily, I just open on this side the glove box, and then you can see you have a Torx here and a Torx here, which you have to loosen. Very easy. And on the other side you have to take off this cover, which you just pull off like this. The same on this side, and there we go. It's just held in with these 2 locking pins, so also quite easy. Then you uncover these Torx. So I think these are let me see, these are Torx T30 if I'm correct. So yeah, you just gotta loosen this one, and then the same on the other side. We have now removed all the necessary bolts to get all of this out, also the side covers. So now we just gotta wiggle it until we can get these side covers out of here. So I will do that right now. So to get this out, you literally just lift it, pull it a bit to the back, make sure you don't pinch any cables, and you can just, as you can see, remove these. Same on this side, comes out very easy. So yeah, that's all you have to do. And now you get access to the 4 bolts that hold in your radio. We have to remove these 4 Torx screws, which are T20s. So, and then you can just slide the radio out. Once we have those 4 screws out, we can just slide out the radio like this. Then we gotta be careful that we don't damage any of the cables here. So there we go. On the back, as you can see, we have 1 antenna cable, and then we have the ISO connector on this side. You just have to pull, and then it will just come out like that. There we go. So that's the original radio out of the car. Now this is the radio I went with. This is literally just a generic universal Android radio for 1 DIN systems, and it came with these cables. like just generic cables that you have to splice in yourself. Same on this. So we have like the speaker cables, all the signal cables. So yeah, that's something I don't want to do. I don't want to start cutting into factory loom. So what I did is I looked at the back here. As you can see, here it says the whole pinout of the radio, and I went on Amazon and I bought this thing, which we have here. And what I did is I repinned this to what the radio says. So this way we can plug this into our factory loom without having to cut any of the factory wires. Now, it doesn't matter which radio you get. Look at the pinout and then just make sure that all the connections are the same. And I would highly recommend for the MINI R53 to get one of these adapters. And yeah, that's it. And you can just repin it. So I got my loom here, my radio here, and then the cage that the radio sits in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first install this cage like this around. Hope you can see this. And then that goes in. Now I will fix this in later better. I just want to see first if the radio works. So then we're going to take our loom and we're just going to install it the same way as we did before. So it just goes in, and instead of pulling on the tab, we're going to push it. So this can be a bit fiddly, but that's quite normal. Okay, there we go. Then we have our two connectors for the radio. I'm going to plug these in, and hopefully I wired everything correctly, and then we should be good to go. So let's see if our radio works. Okay, so let's hope this radio works. There we go. It's starting up, that's a good sign. Now let's see what happens. Okay, and we're connected to Android radio. Let's see if we get... Yep, this works. There we go, that's our radio installed. I will button all of this up now and then fix in the harness here around to make sure that the radio sits well in there. So that's what I'm gonna do next. Okay, so the radio is in. That's another thing I can check off the list. Now obviously there is still much more to do on the car. We still have engine work to do, we still have body work to do. Like, there is an unending list of things that we have to take care of. But the most important thing for me right now is just before the holidays to say a big thank you to all the people who decided to watch my videos, who decided to give me a like, to give me a follow. I appreciate that so much, and I hope to see you guys in the next year. Thank you. Oh, hello. As you can see, I'm standing in the engine bay of this MINI Cooper S from 2005. When I bought this car, I didn't really know what to do with it, but I kinda decided that I want this car to be my daily driver, especially for summer, and have some fun with it. So what I did is I looked at the engine, I went over everything, and I noticed a lot of things were leaking. We had coolant leaks, we have oil leaks, we have so many leaks going on this car. I also saw the belt was perished. We have like so many things that need to be fixed. So I decided, why don't I pull the engine out and just give it a good once over. Now, as this is the first time I ever took an engine out one of these, it didn't go very easily, as you can see right now. In one of the previous videos we already put the car in front service mode, so if you want to know how that's done, just click here. So I'm gonna drain the oil and the transmission fluid before I do anything. Okay. So this is a 13 for the oil, and yeah, let's see. It is at this moment in time that I'm realizing that this bolt is totally stripped. It's basically just a circle. So yeah, that's a good sign for things to come. Okay, so this should have been a 13, but the person who worked on this before has stripped this bolt fully. It's basically just a circle. So I'm gonna try to get some grip on this and get it loose. Yeah, good luck with that. At this point I just decide to drain the transmission fluid, since that bolt is totally seized in there and I don't want to damage it any further. But look, it's something we all ran into when we do car related things. Some bolts are stripped, some bolts are seized. These are just the things you have to deal with. And yeah, let's just move on to the next thing and we'll deal with this later. I removed the transmission oil, but that oil plug is not budging. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pull the engine with the oil in it, and then hopefully when the engine is out, somehow I can get that plug to budge. But right now it seems impossible. So the next step is removing the drive shafts. Removing the drive shafts is quite straightforward, just a couple bolts here as you see. After that the caliper of your brakes, and then once that's off you remove the fan for the steering pump. Once you have that off you have to loosen the engine mount on the bottom. At that point you can literally just pull them out. So I took this fan off and I took the back engine mount off, and as you can see they are covered in oil. So yeah, I think this is really a good decision that we're taking this engine out so we can have like a proper look at what's going on there. Alright, now it's time that we can take off the AC compressor. I already took the belt off, as you see, which is, yeah, you just detension it, put the thing in there, and then you can take the belt off. So now we're gonna remove the AC compressor. Now that that's done, we can start removing all the other things that are connected to the engine block. As I said, this is the first time that I do this on this car, so I'm really struggling a bit, like looking where everything is, but I'll figure it out. Okay, so I think I got most of the things disconnected from the engine. So I'm gonna check around, and I think I still need to disconnect the steering pump underneath, and then I think we are ready to pull this engine. Yes, indeed, there are still two connectors that I need to loosen. I don't know why that one was zip tied and the other one looks like it's with silicone connected, so that will require a bit more investigation. But let's disconnect these and then attempt to get this engine block out. Yeah, and at this moment I did not realize I was still recording. I looked up on YouTube how to get those connectors loose, which did not help at all.
Motor here. Yeah, in this situation, I'm just gonna cut these torched wires. They are completely melted.
Looks we're on our own, boys. Looks like we're on our own. Waar is mijn lamp? Mijn lamp is gaan lopen. Ik had letterlijk juist die lamp hier. Ja, nu niet meer, hè. Voilà, dan zijn we uitgeklapt, hè. So, this is how far I came, and I ran into a little bit of a snafu right down there, like here. So these pipes still need to be disconnected, but for the life of me, I cannot get those clips off. So I'm gonna struggle, yeah, until I get them off, I guess. Oh. Oh, come on. One hose. Literally one hose. Come on. Oh. Wow. I cannot swear. I cannot swear. Don't swear. Just breathe. Okay. Oh my God. Oh, dang. Wow. Wow, wow. Ah. And this is how a 1 hour job turns into a 5 hour job. Oh boy. Man. All right. Come on. Oh, it does not want, it doesn't budge. Nothing. Wait. Something is happening. Come on. What is this? What? Oh. It's literally on there like by a thread. Come on. Come on. Like did they glue this or something? What it's oh. Yeah, doesn't want to. It's like nope. Nope. Come on. I think I have it. I think. Yes. Wow. I need a drink. I'm gonna drink something. Okay, and after that professional intermezzo, we're gonna try to pull this engine backwards. Hopefully there's nothing else that is still connected. I don't see anything. So I really think this should be it now. So let's see. What is here? Nothing. Maybe we still have a bit of... Okay, that's no problem. We're just gonna... Okay, just gonna pass that. Then on this side. Alright. Okay. Think we're there, guys. And then maybe girls, if some girls are watching, which I highly doubt. But... Okay. We did it. We actually did it. Wow. Without a cherry picker, without a lift, without anything. Okay. Now the question is, which I'm highly nervous about, will I still remember all the things and how to connect everything back? I don't know. I guess we will figure that out when the time comes. So, yeah. Anyway, let's turn this around. Oh shit. Well, let's have a look at this engine here in the back, because this is... Oh, yep. Let me quickly get my hands a bit less dirty. They're still dirty anyway. So I'm gonna flip this around and then look at the engine. Yeah. So this is all oil that's been leaking out of the rocker cover. Let's see. Oh man, this is all black. Everything is literally coated in it. Here we have the oil filter housing, which is really that's in bad shape. And then on that side, let's see if I can show this better. So this is the timing cover. The timing chain is behind here, and as you can see, this is all coated in oil as well. Now don't mind this side, I already wiped this off, so this was also covered. Yeah, I think this is a good thing that we actually did this. And yeah, now we can start cleaning up this engine, replacing seals, and continue from there. So the next thing I need to do is I need to look at the engine, make sure I have a full list of all the things we need to get all the leaks fixed. That's the next thing I will do, and then I will see you in the next episode where we will tackle all the things on the engine that needs to be fixed, and maybe we throw in a couple of updates on the engine as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one. The MINI Cooper R53, known for its supercharger whine, its amazing handling, and its long and great heritage. I always wanted one, since the day they released in 2003. But being a student with no money, I could never afford one. But after all these years, I finished and was able to sell the previous project, and I bought one. There were so many mechanical issues with this car that I had no other choice than pull this engine out. So let's get cracking and fix it. And that is where you find me today. We got a lot of things to take care of on this engine. For example, this, and not to forget, this.
So my mission today is to replace all the seals and gaskets on this block so we can prepare it for all the upgrades.
And we are starting off with the rocker cover. So I got this rocker cover off. Now obviously you just want to replace the seal. It never goes as you plan. Now the outer seal already came out, no problems. But these inner seals, they are rock hard. So I'm gonna be struggling a bit getting them out. This one is already tearing, so yeah. Another thing is that all these rocker cover screws, they are literally just rusted away, so I will need to get new ones of these. But yeah, let's just crack on. Let's see what we can make of this. Okay, the seals are in. I have put the rocker cover on temporarily because I'm waiting for new bolts which I ordered, but in the meantime I can continue with other things. And one of the weak points on this engine is the thermostat housing. It's made of plastic and they are prone to cracking. So what I got is this. I got an aluminium thermostat housing which I will be putting on right now. You see all the white stuff that's around there? This way I can 100% guarantee that this one was leaking, which is also supported by the fact that when I took this engine out, that the whole engine block was covered in crystallized coolant. So yeah, this is really something you should check if you own one of these, because this is a common failure point. And of course I got a new thermostat as well with a new gasket, so that's going in together with the aluminium housing. So yeah, that's something I've been waiting for as well, so let's install it. Now, since there was a huge oil leak here at the oil filter housing, I should probably also change these. This is also one of the most common oil leaks on these R53 engines. It will leak between the oil filter housing and the block, so that's something you should probably check too if you have some leaking at the back of your block. I'm not gonna take off these coolant pipes, it's not necessary, so we're just gonna pop this off and then switch out the seals. look at the seal here, it's totally perished. It's literally a piece missing. Yeah, no wonder that this is leaking. Yeah, here it is. It's stuck on the block. Oh, I need to... Oh, look at this. It's just literally just crumbled under a little bit of pressure. So yeah, like I said, check this on your engine if you have some leak on the back. Okay, so I took the oil filter housing apart and I took the oil cooler off. Now, if you look here, no, can you see that here? There are two more seals that need to go in there. And I have this whole set of rubbers and seals which I bought. Now, not a single one is for that oil filter, oil cooler. So I ordered new ones, so we're currently a couple days further than we should be. And what did I get? I get two new seals for that. And on top of that, this pipe here on the engine, it snapped. I broke it. I'm an idiot. I know this is my fault. But I also got a new one of that straight from BMW, which is right here. You can see it's original. This pipe costed me 55 euros from BMW. That's a bit egregious, don't you think? But you know what? I'm gonna continue working on the engine and yeah, we're gonna start buttoning things up now. Alright, so that's the oil cooler back on and the oil filter housing. I already put a new filter in here, so that's done. Okay. Let's see, I also put the coolant pipes back. Let me have a look here. What is all of this? Well, one of these should go on here, I guess. Is it like that? Nope. Like this? No. Okay. There we go. That's that. And then the last piece of the puzzle is to put this back in. This is really fiddly. So yeah, like that, and then we go something like that. Okay, and then that should line up with this. Okay, I didn't see it here. Okay, all right, that looks correct in my opinion. So we just gotta put this bolt back in here. Okay. Okay, there we have it. So that part of the engine is now done. I'm gonna go and have a look at this pipe to replace the pipe that we broke. I routed it the wrong way. Oh yeah. I'm a bit of an idiot, am I not? I did a supercharger service on this supercharger. I replaced the oil. I used the Mobile Jet Oil 2 for this. 145 milliliter on one side, 40 milliliter on the other. I also replaced all the gaskets for the horn boots, the gasket between here. But I forgot to record it. I thought I was recording the whole time. Clearly I was not. So before you go in the comments and tell me I have to do the supercharger service, know that it has been done. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say about this. I'm not gonna redo it, obviously. But yeah, it's done. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to remove all of this here, because we want to change the crankshaft seal, and we also want to take off the timing cover to replace the seal that sits behind here. Okay, it's time to get this pulley off. We will need a tool for that, which I have here. Okay, so I guess we're gonna something, I don't know. We will see. Well, sometimes I really wonder why I'm doing all of this, because something came up, a little issue that we're having, which is a broken bolt. This is the bolt that holds this in, the tool to take off your crank shaft pulley. So I will show you this. Right there, you can see it's in there. So that's another thing I now have to solve. So the bolt is really in there. I was hoping I could just twist it out, but nope. So what should have been an easy job, just take off the pulley, take off the timing cover, replace the seals, and just button everything up. That's all I wanted. Like 30-minute job, but as we all know, that's not how it goes. So what I'm gonna do is I have here this chisel, and I'm just gonna put like a flat surface in there. So hopefully we can then use a flathead to get this out. Okay, let's see. Yeah, there we go. This one went exactly how I wanted it. Well, not exactly. I wanted it to work and the pulley came off, but I mean, as far as solving problems goes, this was better than imagined. So come on, just come out. That's all you need to do. There we go. And here is our offender. Yep, that was the part that was stuck in there. But yeah, what this made me realize is that this pulley is really stuck on there. Yeah, honestly, I have sprayed 556 in there, which is normally a very good lubricant, which normally always helps me out when I have stuff like this. But in this case, this is probably 20 years on there, so it doesn't really want to move out of its home. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna brainstorm a bit, I'm gonna think about this and come back to this and yeah, hopefully get it off. Because I really just want to get the seal done. I really just want to get the crankshaft ring done. So yeah, this is a bit annoying, isn't it? And that's exactly what I did. I did some brainstorming and I decided that I will release this video as a part 1 of a part 2 of repairing this engine, because honestly, waiting on parts. It takes a long time. I haven't released a video in like 3 weeks right now. I really want to get this out, but I have some good news too, and that is that a lot of parts today also arrived. We got some new motor mounts for the back here. We also have a new sump that can go on, brand new sump, because on this one the sump plug is totally ruined and I had to drill it out. Then another thing that arrived today are these arms. Now they only delivered one, I ordered two, but I contacted the company and they will send out the right side one as well. So once the engine is done, we can move on to suspension. So yeah, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I know I'm not someone who uploads weekly. I try to do my best to get a video out in decent times, but you know, it costs a lot of money. I have no sponsors, I have no Patreon, nothing of that. Also, it takes time to source the parts, and then we have personal life that comes in the way. So yeah, if you liked it, then hit me up with that like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to another episode of Almost Roadworthy. Today I'm going to show you how to replace the supercharger pulley on this engine and what the implications are of doing so. Now, to do this job correctly, we need, of course, a new pulley. I have one here from CAFs. This is a 16% reduced pulley. You also have the 17% reduced ones, you have the 15 ones, you even have the 19 ones. But I opted for the 16 one because it sits perfectly in the middle between 15 and 17%, which will, in my opinion, for a daily driver, it will not give as much heat soak as a 17 or a 19, and the extra boost that it creates will be sufficient for my daily needs. Now, do your research in which one you will need yourself, and then just make the decision on how you're going to use the car. Another thing that you will need, which pairs perfectly with the type of pulley you will get, is a belt. Now, depending on the size of pulley that you will get, you will need a belt that fits that size of pulley. I have here a whole list set up for you so you can see which one you need. In my case, this is the 6PK 1360, which normally would work for a 16% pulley and a 17% pulley. But check this list here and then you can make out yourself. And last but not least, you will need a pulley removal tool. I have one here which I got from Amazon. You can find these online. You can even rent them in certain places. If you do this job only one time, maybe it's more interesting for you to rent it or lend it from someone that you know who has one, because they are not very cheap, which I will show you here. So what I have here on the screen is something called the efficiency zone of your supercharger. This is very important that you know that when you change your pulley to a reduced one, that the RPMs will be different than from factory. As you can see in this list here, it goes up to a certain point in RPM and then it goes into the yellow. Once your RPM of the supercharger goes in the yellow, will mean that it's out of its efficiency zone to operate, and you will create more heat soak, more chances of overheating, and your supercharger lifespan will be degraded over time. Now, always something that's important to do is, we will not cover this in this video, but it's important to know, once you get a reduced pulley, I highly recommend you to also change out your intercooler to an upgraded one, so it can also help with that heat soak. Here you see the standard supercharger pulley, which we will be replacing today. The first thing we need to do is remove this plastic cap on the end of the axle. So to get this plastic cap off, you just turn it and it will screw out. Nothing difficult, you don't have to put force on here. Normally this goes very easily. And there we go. So you see, this is like, a plastic screw that goes in there. So, and then you have the axle free, and then we can move on with the tool. What I like to do is I like to use a bit of lubricating oil on there, because yeah, obviously this is 20-year-old car, so yeah, it can be quite on there. Then what you want to do is you want to take your tool, you can slide it in like this, line it up perfectly, turn it around so it sits well in there, and now we're gonna hand tight this on the axle like this. Okay, and now we're gonna use a ratchet to remove this pulley. So what I have here is my ratchet with a 19 to pull the pulley off the shaft. I also have this thing here so we can hold it so it doesn't spin around. So as you see, I had to switch from my ratchet to this longer bar because it was really stuck on there, but now it's coming off. So yeah, depending on how easy it goes, you might have to use a bit more leverage to take this off. The new pulley is out of 2 parts, as you can see, and we just gotta loosen those 4 hex bolts on the top. So now we got this part of the pulley and we just gotta slide it over the shaft all the way down to the back. Okay, so now that we have the sleeve over how we want to, we can take the pulley, put it over here. What is very important is that you look and that the pulley lines up perfectly so the belt will not slip while it's operating. The next thing you want to do is you want to use blue thread locker on the screws, so of course due to vibrations and heat and stuff that they will not come loose. Just a little bit goes a long way, so don't drench the thing in it, but a little bit is more than enough. And we do that for all 4 screws. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to tighten these bolts cross hatch, and you want to use your torque wrench for this because these bolts they take 15 Newton meter. So what I like to do to torque these bolts is I use the old belt, then with one of these vice grips I use it like this, and then you can put enough tension to torque them. And there we go, that's tightened up and that's not going anywhere. Alright, so that's the new pulley on there. Now obviously to finish the job we would still need to put the belt on. In my case that's not possible since, as you can see, I am missing the airco pump, which routes like this, but I will show the routing on the screen right now. This is my Mini and today we're gonna prepare it for its MOT.
Yeah, man, who bigger than them, bigger than them, bigger than them. Ain't nobody bigger than them. On his own throne, ain't nobody sitting with him. Y'all small guys, ain't.
We have been doing a lot of work on the Mini in previous episodes, but that does not mean that it's done. And I just realized you guys haven't heard it start up after we put the engine back in. So why don't we try and see if the car starts? Alright, let's see what this thing will do. A lot of noises. Well, I think at least we can call that a success. But now that the engine is running, everything is done on that part. Still gotta take it out for a test drive, but before I can do that, there are a couple of things that I will need to take care of. And one of those things is, first of all, these brakes, they are totally shot, like the lip is immense, the pads are totally worn, but a bigger thing lays all the way back there, which is basically the joint that holds the triangle up. Those bolts are seized in the chassis, so I'm gonna try to get them out now, because honestly, with that thing being loose, it's undrivable. So that's one of the priorities for today, and then we're gonna move on to the brakes and the suspension. To give you guys a better understanding of what's going on, that's the two bolts right there in the back, which I have to loosen. They're totally seized, so I'm gonna do my best to get them out and replace that knuckle. So I'm gonna start with taking off this thing here, and then hopefully we gain a bit more access to those bolts. I'm not looking forward to this. For a whole week I've been lubricating these bolts every day I came home, because I actually started a new adventure in my life. This is also why I don't have that much time anymore, because I decided to become a professional mechanic. I'm right now working for a big brand as a mechanic, and I'm learning a lot. Like, it's a day and night difference of working here in my garage and being in a professional environment. So I'm very thankful that I got the opportunity to do that. But of course, this also means that it takes a lot of my time. I already didn't have much time. So yeah, that's a little bit of a hurdle, but you know what? We're gonna keep going, and it will be good for the channel to learn new things.
Heavy hitters, hitters, heavy, heavy hitters, hitters, heavy. Heavy hitter, hard body, I'm ready. Heavy hitter, forever, you won't forget. Heavy hitter, all the time, I'm ready. Heavy hitter, in the game, I'm heavy. Dominate the game, I ain't come to play. Give me mine right now, I ain't come to wait. Flies a feather, but I'm a heavyweight. Let it all add up.
This is not the most fun job.
They know I'm deep rooted. Got it on fire. They say I am the coolest. Won't turn down. I won't never cool it. Getting to the checks, boy. That's the way I do it.
Now I don't know how much the camera picked up of that, because apparently the battery was empty, stopped recording, and by the time I noticed, I have everything back together. So the good news is that that part in there is done. So yeah, we can move on to the brakes. Finally some upgrades. So that means these bad boys can go on. But I have a feeling that it will not be as easy as I think it will be. The lip on these is like 2 millimeters, so yeah, I think it's really time to replace these discs. But what I'm afraid of is this retention screw here. So we will try to get this out. In the worst case, we have to drill it out. Yeah. All right. All right. That thing ain't going anywhere, in my opinion. Like, even with this breaker bar on, it's literally just stripping. Oh my god. And then stuff like this happens. But I might have seen a little bit of movement in there, so let me try once again. Oh my god, what the hell is this? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Could of course be handy if you have a drill that actually drills. Lo and behold, we have a winner. I got the head drilled off of there, so at least that's something good. And yeah, let's hope that we don't run in any more unpredicted issues, I would say. So let's continue.
Why does everybody wanna be something? Me, I'd rather just be myself. Talking all loud but ain't saying nothing. Seems more like a cry for help. Some days I just really wanna fit in. Most days I don't even really care. Feels like being real is gone missing. Tell me, are you there? Cause I tried this for so long. Tried to fit inside this box that's way too small.
Look at that. This is all grooved. Big lip on the outside. Yeah, and from the discoloring on the disc I can tell that it once run too hot. So I'm happy we're replacing these.
I'm feeling so free at last. I just don't wanna be cool. I just don't wanna be.
So I was thinking, like, let me first give you the beauty shot of the new brake discs and brake pads that I installed. Very nice, but then if you pan here, this is everything I had to pull out of my closet just to get that retaining screw all out, drilled out. I had to tap new threads in there. Horrible. So I'm gonna continue doing the other side now, and then yeah, then I think it's time that it can go to this MOT, and we'll see what the result's gonna be. Alright guys, I am now on my way to the MOT for the car. Now I'm not very confident in what's gonna happen here, and unfortunately I'm not allowed to film in there, so yeah, I will let you guys know when it's done, I guess. So I'm back from the MOT. What I have here in my hand is the result of the test, and let me tell you, it's not what I expected. So basically, I'm just gonna show you. No advisories, no nothing. The car passed. MOT passed without any single remark, any single advisory. So that means we did our job correctly. So obviously the question is, what's gonna happen with this Mini now? And honestly, I don't know. I was thinking of keeping it, driving it myself, but let's be honest, it's not a very comfortable car to drive. It's a bit rowdy, let's say it like that. Also, my wife, she would like to do her driver's license, and she would prefer to do it in an automatic. I know, don't start, I know. So I'm still debating if either I'm gonna keep this car and gonna like, yeah, do more mods on it, like wheels, coilovers, whatever. I also still have the Miltec exhaust that I can or have to put on, I don't know. And then just, yeah, in general, give it a whole, yeah, makeover. I already did quite a lot, like I blacked it out. There is no more chrome on the car. There is an Android unit in it. Yeah, we basically did a lot. We have the Alcantara or the suede headliner that we put in, the suede armrests that we put in. Of course, we did a full engine overhaul. The engine came out, so that's all done. The boot, which was totally rusted through with holes in it, we took off, we repainted it. So, yeah, I mean, it's something I will have to think about, what I will do in the future with this car. And I want to thank you all for watching this video and to join me on this adventure with this Mini for all the episodes that we had on it. So maybe there will be more, maybe not, I don't know. It might be that the next car we're gonna see is gonna be something completely different, but you know what? It's a surprise for you, it's a surprise for me. We're gonna see. Thank you.